Big hello to all of you. Welcome to JIPMAT Rapid Revision Series. I'm your mentor and guide Brinda. And today we will look at a very crucial aspect of any entrance test, especially JIPMAT. Well, this one is called word usage. Now, why not vocabulary and why word usage? Well, see, it's good to know the meaning of words. It's good to know, say, the synonym or the antonym of a word. But how would you identify out of the given options, what would be the best synonym? What would be the most appropriate synonym, antonym, or of a given word? Or how would you identify whether the word that is, or the options that have been given would best fit in the sequence or in the blanks that are given in the form of a paragraph? So, word usage would only guide you or tell you how to identify the given choice as the right answer choice amongst the given options. So, let's just get started, shall we? All right. So, the first question that I have for you on your screen is you have to pick the nearest synonym uh, correct in meaning for the words given below. Now, let's say the first word that I have for you is dialectic. Now, the word is dialectic, and the options are argumentative, constructive, wavering, instructive, and destructive. Now, first and foremost, it's a very good strategy that you know the meaning of the words. I mean, you prepare well for the entrance test. But the second thing that you should be clear about when you're attempting any entrance test is that the answer of the given word or the given, say, anything in question would have to be the same part of speech as the question itself. So, if you know what part of speech is dialectic, you would be able to eliminate the wrong answer choices if at all, let's say dialectic is an adjective. So, if at all the other answer choices, any of the answer choice is anything other than an adjective, you can straight away eliminate it back because that would not be the right answer. So, an answer to an adjective can only be an adjective. Now, let's see how to get the right answers. Hello, everyone. All right. Well, let's look at the answer choices now. All right. So, see, dialectic simply means somebody who's rational, who's logical, somebody who believes in reasoning first before making a decision. So let's look at the answer choices now. The first one is argumentative. Now it's again an adjective. Now, argumentative person is somebody who believes in arguing because he feels he has a reason to offer. So he has a logic to offer. He feels that what he's done is right. That's the reason why he argues. Okay. So, and then you have constructive. Now, constructive is something that is useful or helpful. Wavering. Now, wavering is, say, when you lose strength or you move away from the path because you're not sure. Instructive is the act of giving the instruction. So, somebody who's instructive is telling you something. Destructive is quite the opposite. When you have the tendency of just destroying things, you are kind of destructive. So let's see, out of the given choices, what do you think could be the right answer? Could it be argumentative? That means somebody who believes in reasoning. Somebody who's constructive, that is giving useful information. Wavering, who wavers from the path, deters from the path, or loses strength or determination or purpose, and that too temporarily. Instructive or destructive. Well, I'd say I'd go with argumentative. Reason being, dialectic is somebody who believes in rational, right? He believes in reason. And argumentative is somebody who is arguing because he has a reason for saying or doing whatever he's been doing or saying. So the answer, first of all, has to be to the same part of speech, which this one is. Dialectic is an adjective, and so is argumentative. And let's look at the meaning of the two words. In a way, they both are closely related to one another. So, thereby, argumentative is the right synonym for the word Dialectic. Yes, that's absolutely right. Good answer choice. Now let's look at the second one, niggardly. Now, niggardly, I'll tell you the meaning, but let's look at the answer choices first. So the first answer choice is penurious, then you have nimbus, black, generous, and liberal. Now, trust me, students, they would not make it easy for you. They would always give you some answer choices that would look so close that you would be tempted to select that as the right answer choice. But trust me, you've got to know the meaning of the word. You've got to understand what part of speech it is to get the right answer. Now let's look at this. So, niggardly simply means somebody who's ungenerous with time and money. So, niggardly is parsimonious, he's miserly, he doesn't want to spend his money. Now, the answer choice is penurious is somebody who's poor, he doesn't have money, right? So the next one, nimbus. Well, nimbus is an adjective. It simply means a gray cloud that's ready to give you rain. So it's a rain-bearing cloud. It's a nimbus cloud. Then you have black. You know why they've given black? I'd let you figure it out yourself. Generous is somebody who wants to help the others. And liberal is somebody who believes in freedom. So out of the given answer choices, what do you think is the most appropriate or the closest answer choice in this case? Can it be penurious, related to money, money difficulty? Nimbus, that's a cloud. Black is black, it's a color black. Generous is somebody who loves to help, has a feeling of, say, benevolence. Liberal believes in freedom. So, niggardly, all right. So, Adarsh, like, I would not be able to say agree with you here because niggardly doesn't mean black. See, niggardly is somebody who's not ready to spend his money. He's parsimonious, he's miserly, he's Scrooge. And penurious has something to do with money. Now, this person cannot spend money because he doesn't have money. A penurious person doesn't have money to spend. So, one way or the other, if you compare the other answer choices, which one is the closest? Tell me. Well, it has to be penurious, the closest of the given answer choices. All right. Now, let's look at, yes, that's right, Pebble. I agree. Let's look at the next one now. Efficacy. Efficacy is a beautiful word which simply means getting the things done most efficiently and in the right time. So let's look at the answer choices. Delicacy. Other than CACY, the KC at the end, what matches, I don't know. Efficiency, it's a good word. Influence is kind of making an impact on someone's decision. Ruthlessness, being merciless. Solemnity is it's a very serious or formal. I mean, if somebody is very serious or formal in behavior, so that's solemnity. That's a way of being. So if efficacy is the ability to produce the desired result in just the right time, can it be delicacy? That is something that's really tasty that you generally get at good places, good food joints. Efficiency, that is say competency in performance. So if somebody is efficient, he's competent, he loves delivering, and that too at the right time in the given time frame. Influence is just impacting, somebody's say. I mean, these things just impact your maybe the way you think, the way you act, or the way you work. Ruthlessness, I've already told you, is merciless. So let's see. Yes, that's right. I've got the answer from some of you, and that's absolutely right. It would be efficacy simply means efficiency. Okay, the next one, narrate. Now, this one is very interesting. Looks really simple, but I'd love to see what answers you have to give here. Very good, Adarsh. Good answer. Now, narrate simply means to tell. Generally, let's say you have to tell something to your friend, so you narrate it to your friend. So you went somewhere, you saw something, and you want to share it with your friends. So you narrate the incident with your friend or to your friend. Now, verbal, dictate, that is telling someone what to do. Recount, talkative, and elaborate. Elaborate simply means giving more information about something. So what do you think is the answer? Is it recount, that is retelling a story, or it's elaborate, that is giving more information about something? Is it just being talkative? Now, mind it, narrate is a verb, talkative is an adjective. Is it verbal? Again, an adjective. Now, where you kind of say, tell someone. I mean, verbal is related to speaking, dictate, all right? Well, how about recount? See, dictate simply means telling someone what to do. So if I dictate something to you, maybe I'm asking you to write something down, or maybe I'm asking you to do something. So whatever I dictate, I expect you to do that, be it written or oral work. But if I'm narrating, I'm just telling you something, generally an incident from the past, or generally something somebody said. And recount is more or less the same thing, where you tell something to someone. So recount and narrate, they more or less mean the same thing. So recount is to tell a story or describe an event, and so is narration. So when you narrate a story, you recount, you kind of repeat what had happened already. So the answer would be E, that is narrate and not dictate. All right, let's look at the next word. So the next word that I have for you is vacillate. It's a beautiful vacillate. You could kind of think of oscillate. The pendulum oscillates, if at all you read science ever. So you have this big clock and it has this big pendulum. It generally has something like this, and it goes here, and then it goes back here. It oscillates. Well, that vacillate is kind of close to that. Now, when you vacillate, you're not able to decide. So you keep moving from one option to the other. Let's look at the answer choices. So is it amplify? Is it cheat? Is it eradicate, stimulate, or waver? Let's understand the meaning now. Now, see, vacillate is you're uncertain. So you have two choices. You can't decide this choice or this choice. So you're vacillating between two choices, moving to and fro from two or more choices. Now, amplify simply means increase the sound. So when you amplify the sound, you increase the sound, and your neighbors start shouting that, oh, reduce the sound. Well, that's what amplify is. You use an amplifier to increase the sound. Then cheat, I guess, a different concept altogether. Cheating is when you're not faithful to someone. Eradicate is exterminate. I mean, you kind of remove something completely, so you eradicate it. Stimulate is encourage someone to do something, and waver is we've already discussed this word when you kind of step away from the regular course and you kind of are undecisive where to go, what to do. So you waver. Let's see. Yes, that's absolutely right. Fantastic. Good answer choice, people. So vacillate, here, waver is the closest answer choice when we're talking about vacillate, because here you move in a quivering way and you kind of move away from what the right course is. All right, the next word, yes, very good. Fantastic. Now, the next word that I have for you is pernicious. Pernicious. Now, this means something that's harmful. I mean, it has a harmful effect. So if something is pernicious, it'll definitely cause harm, which could be deadly. Now let's look at the answer choices. So is it deadly? Is it gorgeous? You know what gorgeous is, right? Or who gorgeous is? Heinous is something that's evil, wicked, abominable. Curious is when you have a sense of, say, curiosity in you, when you want to know why this, why that, who's this, who's that. So you're curious, inquisitive. Or expensive, that is something that's costly. So pernicious, well, I'd say we can very easily eliminate some of the answer choices, and there's a tough choice between A and E. And let me see what your answer is. Okay, well, I couldn't agree more. Hi, Namita. Yes, I could not agree more. It would be deadly. That's absolutely right. So, pernicious is something that's deadly. It's harmful. It can, whatever the effect is, it will only be bad. So, it's deadly. Fantastic. Very good answer choice. All right. The next word that I have for you here is another very high frequency word. Well, this one is inebriated. Now, inebriated is, say, somebody has a lot of alcohol, and now the state that he's in, so he's inebriated. So just imagine somebody who's falling here and there because he's not sober anymore because of the consumption of alcohol. So this state that this person is in, that's inebriated. So you could say an inebriated man. That's an adjective. Now the options that I have for you are dreamy. So do you think this person who's not in his senses because of the consumption of alcohol, is he dreamy? Is he unsteady? Because he's kind of shaky. He's not sober. He cannot even stand properly. Is he drunken? Is he stupefied? Or is he enervate? Okay, I've got the answers, some of the answers already. Well, see, stupefied is somebody who cannot think clearly. Now, think of this person. He obviously cannot say think clearly, or he's enervate because all the energy is drained out of him. Now he only wants to sleep. He's not fit to do anything else. So, out of the given choices, see, everything is so close, right? So, what do you think is the right answer choice here? Okay, I've got okay. Namita, why did you choose C, unsteady? See, if you think about it, Namita, um, dreamy, unsteady, stupefied, or enervate, these are the consequences of being inebriated. That is, when you're drunk, what happens? You're unsteady, you want to slide down and sleep, you're shaky, you're, say, stupefied, you cannot think clearly, you're drained, your energy is drained. But those are just the consequences of being, say, drunk. So I guess I agree with the others, and the answer should be drunken. So inebriated simply means drunken, and the others are just the effect or the say consequences of being drunk. All right. Yes, very good answer choices, a lot of you. All right, the next word, it's a beautiful word. It's as unique as the word itself. So this one is ubiquitous. Ubiquitousness. Well, the word is ubiquitous. Ubiquitousness is a noun form of the word ubiquitous. Now, ubiquitous is something that's present everywhere. Now, think about it. What do you think is present everywhere? Is it intervention? Not even close. You know what is intervention? If someone is doing something and you just go there and you kind of stop the person and you tell him that what is right or what is wrong, you kind of stop the other person. So you're intervening. Things can intervene. Say there's a match going on, it starts raining, the rain intervened the match. So anything that stops an ongoing action is that thing is intervening, and that act is intervention. Oh, I've already got the answer. All right, great, Namita. Glad that you understood. Right. I guess I don't even have to explain. I've already got the answers. Yes. See. So ubiquitousness is, say, something that's present everywhere. Ubiquitous is something that's present everywhere, and ubiquitousness is the state of being present everywhere. So the answer is omnipresence. Now, omni, I must tell you, is a root which means all. Now, something that's present everywhere. That's say they're everywhere. So that's omnipresence, and it can only be God who is omnipresent, that is present everywhere. Very good answer choice, people. Really proud of you. All right, the next one now. Okay, now see, the question says in each of the following questions, choose a word opposite in meaning to the given word. Now, people, one something that I'd really like to share with all of you that I often tell all my students is that whenever you're attempting any paper, just don't look at the questions, I mean, the statements and their answer choices. It's very important to read the instruction also very carefully, because there are times when we overlook the instruction, and it's then when we generally end up making a lot of mistakes. And say later on, you'll sit and think, oh, I did the right thing. Maybe you won't realize that you missed a very important part. That is the instruction that was there in the question. So please, people, make sure that you read the instruction very carefully when you attempt any test. Now, all right, I've already got the answer for this one. So this one is, so you need to find the opposite. Autonomy simply means, say, when, you can govern yourself, when you can act yourself. You don't need anyone's instruction or anyone's governance to help you move ahead. So that's autonomy. Now, submissiveness, subordination, dependence, or slavery. Well, people, there is a lot of difference in. So they all look so close, as in so different from the given word. But trust me, there's a lot of difference, great difference, I'd say, in the meaning of all the four words that are there. Now, I'd like to see what your answer is. All right, all of you say it's just okay. Um, C. Submissiveness is compliance, say subservience. So when you kind of say yes to everything the other person says to you. So subservience is when you're more of yes, boss kind. Yes, sir, I'll do this, sir. Okay, sir, I'll do that for you, sir. So when you kind of keep agreeing to what the others have to tell you, you are subservient or you're compliant or you are submissive. So you kind of give in to other people's demands. Now, subordination is when you're placed lower in rank. So there are subordinates in the hierarchy. There are people below you. Okay, that's subordination. Now you have dependence. Here, dependence simply means that you need someone's help to do whatever you're doing. So let's say there's a child who's dependent on his mother to get his food, or maybe he's dependent on his mother to help him do the homework, or maybe he's dependent on his teachers to get the answers or to understand the chapter. So dependence is when you need someone's help to get the work done. And then you have slavery. Now, slavery, see, slavery is when you own something, when you own someone. So back in those days when people used to buy and sell slaves, so these people, they used to become the property of somebody. Now let's go back to the word autonomy, which means you can act on your own. Now tell me which word is the closest antonym of the given word. And I couldn't agree more. See, Pankaj has given the right answer. See, he says it's dependence. Autonomy was self-reliance. You could do the work on your own. You don't need help. Dependence, you need help. Aren't they the exact stark opposite of each other? Tell me if you agree. Well, I'm sure the answers will come in. Let's move on to the next one. All right. So the next word in line is again a very good word, a very high frequency word. This one is overt. Now, overt is anything that's not covered. It's, see, overt is open. So there can be overt operations. That, as in operation here means I'm talking about those movies where there is the hero, the protagonist of the story is a spy, and he's always an undercover spy, and he um, kind of doesn't reveal his identity, and then he functions or does whatever assignment has been given to him. So those are covert operations. So you have covert and then you have overt. Covert operations are covered operations. Overt operations are something that's not covered. So covert is secret, overt is open. Now let's see. All right, great, great. Good to see that. Now let's see. Can you answer this one? If overt is something that's not hidden, that's not concealed, it's open for everybody and anybody to know. What do you think is the opposite? Is it deep? That is something, say, um, deep is deep, something that goes on and on. Shallow is something that's not deep, surface level. Then secret, you know what secret is? Something that's covered. And then unwritten is something that's verbal, not written, not black and white. So the answer, the opposite of overt will be secret. Okay. Now let's move on. No, Namita, it would be C, secret. Overt is something that's open. Covert is something that's covered. So covert is generally associated with secrecy. Overt is associated with openness. So the opposite of overt will always be secret or anything that's covered. Yes, that's right. Great. Uh, no, Navit, no, Harshibita. It would be secret, not shallow. because overt doesn't mean deep. Deep and shallow are opposites to one another. Deep is something that goes on and on, so there's no end to it vertically. And shallow is something at surface level. So the water can be deep, the water can be shallow. All right, fine, I get it. See, that's what I told you. Reading the question and retaining the question is also very important. You can make a mistake there if you don't. All right, let's move on to the next one. And this one is another very good word. I mean, not literally, high frequency, I'd say. Profane. The words in question are, yeah, fine. Archie happens. But then, sweetheart, if you are attempting any entrance test, kind of have to be more careful, okay? Fine. So let's move on. Profane and words. The choices are arrogant, respectful, benign, or pious. Now let's understand the meaning. See, profane is something where you show disrespect in terms of religion. Profane or profanity will always be somebody's, say, being disrespectful to religion and nothing else. Hello. Fine. So, back to this. Now, arrogant is somebody who's haughty, somebody who thinks he's better than the others. Respectful is somebody who respects. It's a broad term. So you could be respectful to your parents, you could be respectful to your teachers, you could be respectful to, say, God and holy books and everything. It's a broad term. Now, benign is that good feeling inside you where you want to do good to others. So you're benevolent when you're benign. And then you have pious. Pious is somebody who's has a deep sense of respect for religion. Now tell me what you think is the right answer. Okay, Namita says it's okay. Two students say it's D. Well, I couldn't agree more. That's absolutely right. See, arrogant and benign are not even close to the word profane. So the choice was between C and D, and that will always be the case. So, in the exam also, if at all you're given more than, say, you'll generally have 4 to 5 options. So you will be able to eliminate at least 2 to 3 choices. There will only be a choice between two close options, and there you have to use your judgment or your knowledge to find out the right answer. Now, respectful is a broad term. So, being respectful is not only for your religion or for, say, God. You are generally respectful, but pious is in terms of religion, and so is profanity. That is the reason why pious is the exact or the right answer or the opposite of profane. So, good answer choice, people. Very good. Let's see. Now we move on to the different section where you won't be just having a word and the given options to find, I mean, to select the synonym or antonym. Now, these are more detailed questions, but I'd say these are comparatively easier compared to the previous questions because here at least you have a context, you have a structure in front of you which can work as a clue. See, first and foremost, you have to have sound knowledge. That's really important if you're attempting any entrance test. You just can't walk into the examination hall and attempt a test or take a test. You have to have good knowledge. But here in this one, at least you can use your judgment. You can use, say, uh, you can read the context and try and figure out the answer. Now, as I said, let's look at the question first so that we don't miss any important instruction. So this says in each of the following blanks, you're given one or more blanks. Each question is followed by 5 choices, maybe 4 or 5, which fits one of which fits the blank. All right. Now, the correct choice is your answer. Fine, I get it. In case there is more than one blank, each answer choice is more than one filler, which should fit the blank in the respective order. So maybe you'll get one answer choice, or maybe just one blank, or maybe more than one blank. So there could be two blanks which you would have to fill in the next questions that to follow. So let's just start. Now, see, this question says it was dash hot day and the cable suffered the brunt of the heat. Hmm. So It was a some hot day. So, what do you think is the right answer choice here? What do you think we need here? You need to anticipate before even you look at the answer. And you need to understand what part of speech could be the answer. So, let's see what you have to say. Was it an unbelievably hot day? It was uncompromisingly hot day. It was treacherously hot day. Treacherous is when you want to betray someone. You're being treacherous. Acceptably hot day, unfailingly hot day. What do you think is the right answer choice? I mean, before I give you my answer, I'd like to hear your answer. Now, see, the question says that, let's say you don't understand what's the answer. Let's look at the rest of the sentence and try and figure out if there is any clue that will help us or direct us to the right answer. So, so it was dash hot day. That it was dash hot that day, and the cable suffered the brunt of the heat. So, brunt of the heat is when you suffer the brunt of something, you suffer the impact of something. So, it was really hot, and it was kind of very, 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 very hot. Now, what do you think? Was it treacherous? Say you kind of betray, you want to betray someone. Unfailingly, that means no, others, it would not be. See, being treacherous or treachery is the act of betraying someone, especially your country, say, or maybe anyone in general, not just the country. So when you are being treacherous, you're being unfaithful, you're betraying someone, you're, say, kind of letting someone down. So days cannot be treacherous. Now let's see. So we'll eliminate this. Uncompromisingly hot. Compromises when you're able to accept, okay, fine, it's hot. But then uncompromisingly hot, you cannot even fathom unbelievably hot. So something that you really can't believe, which simply means very, 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 very. So, if you come across, you go to say, you watch a movie and you love the movie, and you come out and you want to tell the world about it, your friends, your family, your parents. So you'll say, unbelievable movie. What does that mean? That it was very, 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 very good. So when you want to use very, 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 you kind of replace it with unbelievable. So that means you want to say that it was so good that it kind of is unbelievable. So I'd say the answer is unbelievably hot. So it was unbelievably hot that day, and the cable suffered the brunt of the heat. Now let's move on to the second one. His behavior is worthy of dash by all youngsters. Now, see, we are talking about somebody's behavior being worthy of. Now, what would you want the word to be? Something that the youngsters follow, or something the youngsters do not follow? Something like this, right? Let's look at the answer choices. Worthy of following by all the youngsters. Do you think is the right word to go there? Trial is when you kind of say try out something. Exploration, when you look for something, when you are in search of something. Emulation means you like something and you kind of follow it. Or experiment by the youngsters. Ah, all right, let's see. Why A? Jade, why A? Doesn't make sense to me. Elaborate your answer, please. Now, see, uh, let's try and fit the answers there. Is worthy is be now, see, first of all, we need a noun here. Now, worthy of following by the youngsters, this is not even grammatically right. If I said his behavior is worthy of being followed by the others, would still have been right. But following is grammatically, it won't even fit in that part. So eliminate. Worthy of trial. Do you try somebody's behavior? No, we don't. We follow the behavior of other people, right? Exploration is out of context because exploration is when you go in search of something. So you're an explorer, you go to Himalayas, you go to Mount Fuji, and you go to the, say, Amazon forest, and you try to find something. Exploration. Emulation is to imitate someone. Imitate is follow, copy someone because you like what they're doing. So you're emulating them. Or experiment. Had it been experimented, it would still have been right. The word experiment won't even fit there. So the right answer choice is I guess I'd go with emulation. All right. Yes, that's right. Absolutely right. I agree. Now let's move on to the next one. Uh, his friends had nothing to offer him other than dash in his grief. Now see, even before I look at the answer choices, let me understand what the question has to offer. So his friends had nothing else to offer him. So they could not offer anything else in his grief. Grief is when you are in pain, when you are unhappy, when you are really sad because something has gone wrong. Something bad has happened. So you're very unhappy, right? So you're in grief. So what would your friends do when you're in grief, when you're in pain? Not literal pain, but yes, you are say unhappy, sad. Well, a word can have more than one meaning, Jaydev. Emulation is a noun which means to imitate someone, or when you kind of want to imitate someone because you like what they're doing. All right. Now back to this one. So yes, I guess I kind of agree with you, Jaydeep, but let's understand the meaning of the rest of the words. So, would your friends offer you kindness when you're in pain? Would they offer you friendship? Well, they're already your friends. What else can they offer? I mean, friendship is when a stranger can offer friendship to you. Your friends are already your friends. Solution can be given to problems. Here, you're in pain, you don't have a problem. Consolation is consoling someone, say, telling someone, oh, don't worry, it'll be okay. This is just a phase, it'll pass. When you say all these good things to your friends when they are in pain, when they are kind of crying, or say when they are unhappy or sad. So, whatever you tell them to make them feel better, that's consoling or consolation. Happiness is kind of out of context here. I'm sure you'll agree. Yes. Sahanubhuti, uh, not exactly, but then yes, that's close. So it would be consolation. Yeah. All right, now let's look at the next one. So this says he dashed the situation quickly and decided on the best course of action. Okay, so let's just think about it. What happened here? So there is this person, just imagine the hero of the story, or maybe imagine yourself. You are somewhere and something doesn't kind of say look right or is say kind of different from what you generally face. Now you quickly dash the situation and you decide, okay, I guess this is what's happening. Let me do this to overcome or maybe to get out of the situation or whatever. So quickly measure the situation 1 kilometer, 5 kilometers, so 3 inches, 5 inches. Measurement is what? It's in units, right? So do you measure the situation? Do you finalize the situation? Do you accept the situation? Do you assess the situation? That is kind of measure, but not in terms of, say, magnitude. You just assess is you kind of understand what's happening or you manage. Well, manage is when you assess and then what you do is that's what your management is, right? So the answer would be yes, that's absolutely right. He assessed the situation and decided the next course of or the best course of action. Then we have he was initially dash at the suggestion, but now but and any contrasting connector conjunction is always your best friend. The moment you say it, you should know that okay, something different is about to happen now. So he was initially dash at the suggestion, but was soon dash it himself. So let's just see. Okay, I've got a lot of answers. That's fantastic. Very good. Now answer this one. I'll just tell you the options and you decide the right answer, right? So he was, see, try and fit the words in the blanks and you'll know whether they're the right fit or not. So he was initially frowning, so he was not really happy at the suggestion, but soon rejecting it himself. Now, let's say if he was frowning, he was not happy, and then I've written but. That means, let's say if he was frowning, then later he should have accepted it, not rejected it. I mean, had I written and here, then rejection would have been the right fit. But these two are kind of contradicting each other. So if he was frowning, if he was not happy, then he should have. accepted. I mean, with but you needed something that was contradictory. Okay, I've got a lot of answers. That's great. So I'll eliminate the first one because the second one is a misfit compared, I mean, in context to the first one. He was thrilled at the suggestion, but then propagating him. Now, if he is thrilled and then I've written but, then again I needed something that should have been opposite to the word thrill. Propagation is he went ahead and said, "Oh, look at this! It's so fantastic! You should go ahead and accept it or say follow it or whatever." So again, the two words do not go with the connector but. Then we have he was shocked at the suggestion and then he was advocating it himself. Well, he was shocked. He did that, oh, what is this? And then he said, okay, advocation is when you kind of support a theory. So this one looks a good answer, but we haven't assessed the rest of them. So kind of put this on hold and let's assess the rest of them. He was impressed and negating it. So this one also looks good, but I have a doubt here. Are you impressed at a suggestion or you are impressed by a suggestion? See, this won't fit there. So maybe would have been the right choice, but this one doesn't really go well with the tone or the grammar of the sentence. Um, Suspicious and then trusting it himself. Well, looks good answer choice. He was suspicious and then later he started trusting it. But I have another doubt. Are we suspicious at a suggestion or are we suspicious of a suggestion? What is it? So, out of the given choices, C is the most appropriate answer. And let's understand why. He was initially shocked at the suggestion, but he was soon advocating it himself. Best answer choice. I hope you understand how we try to get the answer. See, the prepositions, the connectors, they and even the tenses of the sentence, they'll tell you a lot. So whenever you get a question wherein you have a blank, you have a paragraph or say a statement with blanks in it, these questions are comparatively easier to answer because the reason being, if you read the rest of the sentence, it will give you some clues that will help you identify the answer. They will direct you to the answer. You just have to be open about it. You have to be vigilant, okay? So you'll know. Well, let's look at the next one. Oh, I've given you clues here in this one. Now, the next one. This says the minister felt that the dash made by the committee was dash even though. Now, even though is another contrasting connector. It's a correlative conjunction, which it's a conjunction that shows contrast, just like but. So if you see even though, although, despite, in spite of, but, so you should know that whatever is being said in one half of the sentence will not be in sync with the second half of the sentence. There has to be some contrast. So let's look at this one together. So the minister felt that the dash made by the committee, election made by the committee, the decision made by the acceptance, the choice, recommendation, I think there's a word missing here, infeasible. So the minister felt that the recommendation. So I guess, well, Ahmed, sure, definitely. But then let's just finish what we have started. And at the end of the session, we'll talk about what you're asking for. Okay. So let me just finish this and then we can work on what you want. All right. So this one says, so minister felt that so we need some noun here. Was it election made by the committee, decision made by the committee, acceptance made by the committee? Well, all look right. Choice made by the committee. I'm not able to eliminate any of them. So I'm more dependent or I'm more relying on the second blank to get my answer right. Now, see, my judgment says that this even though will guide me. So he says that whatever the committee did, okay, I've kind of highlighted the answer. I shouldn't have come to this page. So the minister felt that whatever the say say decision or acceptance or choice that was made by the committee was dash even though similar schemes had worked earlier. So something had worked earlier, but here, because of even though we know that whatever it is, it won't be as effective as the previous ones. So is it acceptable? Was acceptable even though similar schemes had worked earlier? See, acceptable doesn't really go with the rest of the sentence because, like I'm saying, even though shows contrast, something worked earlier and this one will not, even though shows contrast. So, profitable, gainful, approved, they all kind of support, they are positive words. But what we need here is something that negates the second half, that shows contrast with the second half. So, and that word is infeasible. Now, feasible is something that works, something that is workable. Now, infeasible is something that is not workable. So, you know how easy it is to eliminate the wrong answer choices. And of course, and some words won't fit grammatically also. So, let's see what answers you guys have given. Um, yes, but Namita, do you understand why? Oh no, Namita has given the right answer. Fine. So, see, let's put the words in the blanks and see whether they make sense. So, this minister felt that the recommendation made by the committee was infeasible, even though similar schemes had worked earlier. Do you understand how we got the right answer for this one? It was very easy if you understand certain things very clearly, and especially the connectors, the prepositions, and the tenses, they are your best friends. They'll give you a lot of say, clues when you will start working on the blanks. Now, the next one. And this one says the dash imposed for the non-payment was dash was too for it to bring in an improvement in collection. Now, see, uh, does it make sense to you? When you read it at first, maybe it doesn't. So let's try and find out the clue that will help us or guide us or direct us to the answer. See, the dash imposed. So something was imposed. So there, we need a noun here. For the non-payment was too, this too. Too means there's a lot of either say too low or too high or too much or too less. So we need an adjective here for it to bring an improvement in collection. Now, two also kind of shows contrast. Let me give you an example. See, okay, Namita has already given the answer, but let's see. See, let's say the boy was too short to reach the high shelf. Now see, the boy was too short to reach the high shelf. So maybe we can look at another example. The bag was too heavy for the weak girl to lift. Now the bag was too heavy for the weak girl to lift. So too also kind of tells you that something is in extreme. Okay, so one side could be one extreme of the story and the other side could be the other extreme of the story. Now let's look at the answer choices. So this says the dash imposed. So the penalty, punishment, damage, well, damage cannot be imposed. So I guess we can eliminate this one. The fine was imposed. Well, the toll is collected. It is not imposed. I guess we can eliminate these two choices. So the penalty imposed for the non-payment was too, well, was it harsh or severe? Well, see, to bring it an improvement in the collection, uh, harsh and severe are kind of say going say in support, whereas what we need is something that's say contrasting with whatever is given. So I go with So the penalty imposed for the non-payment was too low for it to bring an improvement in the collection. All right? Yes, that's absolutely right. So you've given the right answer. Let's see. Joey was not dashed by the criticism and paid no dash even when his best friend talked against him. Now, see what the statement implies. So, there's this fellow Joey, somebody criticized him, but he did not pay dash to it, even when his friends, best friend, say, kind of talked against him. So, what happened? That's what the meaning of the question is. Now, let's see how to get the answer. So, this one is he was not threatened. Are you threatened by criticism? Threatened is something that scares you. Um, You want to know the words that show contrast, Jaydeep? I'll share them with you. Let me just finish this, all right? He was deterred. Now, deterred is, say, you're walking a path and you kind of deviate from your path. So you deter from the path. Shaken is you're shaky, that is, you're not stable. He was troubled by criticism or he was bothered by criticism. So, well, we know that we can eliminate option A. And let's look at option B now. So Joey was not, say, deterred or shaken or troubled or bothered. They all look right. Let's look at the second option now. And paid no. Okay, I've already got the answers. Uh, Paid no attention when his best friend talked against him. So you're saying he was not bothered by criticism and paid no attention even when his best friends talked against him. Now, let's say, I guess I see no indication, yes, and paid no mind won't work. Fine, I completely agree. So, option A, B, and E can be eliminated. Now, we are left with C and D, and before choosing the final answer, let's consider both the options. Let's uh, say kind of evaluate both the options before we select the answer, right? So, this one is I would go with deterred. See, Joey was not deterred by criticism and paid no heed, even when his best friend talked against him. Although heed and attention, they mean the same. I mean, when you pay no heed or you don't pay any attention to something, that means you're not kind of being attentive to what is being said. But then we are generally not deterred by criticism and we go ahead and we do what we think is right. Um, we generally don't use by with bothered. Okay, we are not bothered with. We don't say we are not bothered by criticism. That would be wrong, right? Now let's look at the next answer choice. The activities of the association have dash from the objective set for it in the initial years. Now let's see. The activities of the association have dash from the objective set for it in the initial years. So is it emerged, grown, increased, deviated, detailed? I guess, how about you try and give me the answer? Try to look for the key word that will guide you to the answer. Of course, we need, since it is have, we need a verb here in the blank. So, uh, detail will not be the right fit. So you can always eliminate it. Now, let's see if you can figure out the right answer for this one. Yes, I agree, Namita. See, the activities of the association have deviated from the objective set for it in the initial years. That is originally something that was done. So that is kind of a clue for you here. So it would be option B, that is deviated. And the last, very good, Harsh. Now, the last sentence that I have for you here is no, I guess that's the last one. Well, students, with this, I come to the end of this session. Um, See, JIPMAT exam is right ahead, and I'm sure you guys are kind of little worried. But then don't worry. Just stay focused. Whenever you come across vocabulary section, have your facts straight. First of all, you should have good knowledge of vocabulary, students, because it's important to clear any entrance exam. And then let the options that are there, the rest of the statement that's there, guide you to get your answers. All right. So, best wishes for the exam. We'll be back with more informative videos for you. Stay tuned and see you. Bye bye. Okay, Jaydev wants to know the words which show contrast. Well, Jaydev, there can be several words that show contrast. I'll write them here. See, but, simplest, but, the word that shows contrast. There's another word, however. It's the same thing. I mean, however also shows contrast. It just works like but, just that it's more subtle in its approach. Then you have despite, in spite of. Then you have although, though, even though. Well, to begin with, these are some words that show contrast. Harsh, see, you still have time, Harsh. Don't think that you're not prepared enough. Just go ahead. Make books your best friends. Read, devote time to your studies, and I'm sure you'll do well. Attend our sessions. These sessions are specially designed for the students who are appearing in the JIPMAT exam. And attend the sessions. Try to get maximum or try to make the most of it by watching these sessions, and I'm sure you'll do well. So stay tuned, and we'll be back. Take care. Bye bye.